Today, I would like to revisit the topic of secrecy. First and foremost, in magic in general, secrecy is one of our tools. It's one of the sides of the witch's pyramid. Just to remind ourselves of those sides of the witch's pyramid, there's faith, there's imagination, there's will, and then there's secrecy. And secrecy is attempting to make something sacred. When we keep something secret, we are attempting to make it sacred. If you remember that admonishment in the New Testament where the character called Jesus admonished his followers not to cast their pearls before swine, that was a type of admonishment in favor of secrecy. That is, if something's special to you, then keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself, because you're trying to make it sacred when you're making it secret. Unfortunately, the things that people tend to want to keep secret are the things which they shouldn't be attempting to make sacred. They're things that they are ashamed of. The reason why they're trying to keep them secret is because they're ashamed of them. Something that they did, or something that they think, or something that happened to them, whatever it is. As you keep those things secret, as you secrete those things, you're giving them harbor. You're giving them safe harbor within your mind. And whatever you give safe harbor to and you keep secret, you also, by trying to make it sacred, you are thus giving it power. So when you keep something secret, you make it powerful. So a shame-based secret is the kind of secret you want to be careful not to keep. And anybody that's been in any kind of psychotherapy will tell you that one of the first things that a psychotherapist will want to do is get you to tell one of your shame-based secrets or all of your shame-based secrets in order to take the power out of those things. And that's why they say confession is good for the soul. When we confess something that we are ashamed of, we are taking the power out of it. We are deflating it by sharing it with another person. So one of the things that we can do when we want to unburden ourselves of whatever shame that we are carrying is to confess or to share it with somebody. That doesn't mean that you share it with everybody. If you're ashamed of something, you don't have to tell everybody your deep, dark secret. But it's good to find somebody that you can unload on so that you can take the charge off of that thing. So a therapist, a good friend, a spiritual advisor, somebody that you can trust, somebody that can also keep your secret. And this way, when you both have this shared secret, you're having a new kind of shared secret. You're not just keeping secret what you did or what happened. You're keeping secret the fact that you are moving beyond it. And so you're giving it a new kind of power. But in magic, what we want to do is we want to look at the other side of it, where the things that we want, the things that we want to manifest, if we can keep those secret, we give them more power. So, for instance, if you're working a spell for anything, it doesn't matter what it is. Let's say that you're working a spell for health or for healing, something. You don't want to tell everybody, now this is what I'm working on. Now I got to get rid of this blah blah blah, and so I'm using magic to blah blah blah. All that's doing is dissipating the energy. It's like digging up the seeds that you've planted. It's like putting a pin in the balloon before it's had a chance to float away. So when you are working on any kind of spell, you don't want to share either the spell itself with other people that you're working on, or even the topic that you're working on. It's a good thing to just keep your mouth shut. And by shutting your mouth, by locking your mouth closed, you are thus allowing yourself to build up great reserves of power surrounding whatever that thought form is that you're trying to build. But remember that when they say loose lips sink ships, that they mean it. When you start to talk about the things that are important to you that you're working on, then if you think of it this way, when you're working magic, you are building up a great amount of thought form energy that needs to express itself into manifestation. Now, if you start talking about it, you've already expressed it into manifestation, the manifestation being your words. And so there's nothing left for it to go and manifest with, because you've given it manifestation already. So it's done. As far as the thought form is concerned, it's completed because you've talked about it. That's one way of thinking of that. Another aspect of that secrecy, even if you're not working on something specifically, in general, silence is golden. In general, it's best not to talk about anything that's going on in your life, because what that does is it starts to create a rockiness within your experience, because not only are you dissipating any energy and unleashing any sacredness from you. So you have nothing sacred. You're holding nothing sacred. Not only that, but you get everybody else thinking about certain things that they may not have your best interest at heart. They may not have the full understanding of what you're talking about. And they're adding their thought forms, their thought waves to your whole experience. And so you're getting all kinds of interference. So regardless of whether it's a positive or negative secret, you want to keep quiet about pretty much everything in your life except for to a few people, right? Because let's say you were having some problems in your relationship or in your marriage. You start telling everybody about that, and then they tell people about that, and then they tell people about that, and then it's a big thing. And then once you guys are better, it's not better, because you've got the public opinion back on the secret that you told somebody, and nobody's caught up with the fact that you guys are fine. But if you've just kept your mouth shut, nobody would have been the wiser. Right? So if you are having true marital problems and you only have like one or two confidants that you can talk to, like I said, maybe a therapist or maybe a spiritual advisor or maybe a really good close friend or family member that you can come in and speak confidentially with, then you're focusing your energy on a place where you can get assistance rather than dissipating the energy and creating more problems by telling people about stuff that really are none of their concern, none of their business. And I think that in this particular society, this idea of secrecy has really gone away, because everybody on social media and the like, what you ate for breakfast is out there. What you think about your toenail is out there. I mean, any little thing is out there, and we don't have any focus anymore because everybody thinks that it's best to just put every aspect of their life on display. And in reality, when you do that, you create more problems for yourself, and you have a harder time making success. You have a hard time being successful with anything because you have no focus. You have no focus. So secrecy is of utmost power. Now, let's get back to magic for a minute. When you're casting a spell, you need to be able to have a relaxed body. We've talked about that before in different lectures, where you lower that mental shield, you lower your defenses. And in fact, there's a lecture coming out today that we recorded a few weeks ago about that. But so you have to have your defenses lowered in the midst of the spellcasting process. You have to have what we call your mental shield lowered. And that's through deep, deep relaxation. You want to really slow down the brain waves, and you really want to access that deep mind. And then you want to be able to picture that which you desire as if it had already happened. And we talk about using like a little loop of a circumstance that you come up with that is proof to your deep mind that this thing has happened. Such as if you were trying to get your house sold, maybe you'd have this image in your mind of signing the papers or taking down the for sale sign or something like that, that you have in a loop over and over again, that you are seeing in your mind while your mental shield is down, while you're in that deep state of relaxation. And then we focus that into a thought form. We focus that usually into some sort of thought form, and there's different methods for that. Sometimes you do it mentally, sometimes you use a talisman, sometimes you use an amulet, sometimes you just use a ball of energy, whatever you're using, depending on the spell. But the last thing is you shut up. The last thing is you just be quiet. Now, there have been times when I haven't done the rest of the spell casting process. I've just said, I really want blah, 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 and I'm not going to mention it to anybody. And I'm going to keep this secret. I'm just going to keep this secret until it manifests. And that was my one and only part of the spell. I didn't do all the other stuff that you're supposed to do. And lo and behold, I got what I wanted. And I've done that on a number of occasions. You can try that. Make make kind of a big gesture about it. Well, I want such and such, and I'm going to keep that as a secret. I'm not going to ever mention it to anybody. It's going to be this big, big secret. And just having that big, big secret is oftentimes enough to create what you need to have happen so that it manifests in the physical. Now, it's obviously much more potent if you use all of the aspects of the spellcasting process, but secrecy can be one of our most important ingredients in casting a spell. Let's talk about the aura for just a moment. The aura is the electromagnetic energy that emanates through your body. And some people think that it comes from the body, but it doesn't come from the body, because if it came from the body, it would still be there when you die, So it's not there when you die. It comes through the body. It emanates through the body, and it can be extending out for 9 feet sometimes, depending on how strong your aura is. Well, the aura never lies. The aura is always, if you can see auras, you know exactly what somebody's going through, where they are, what they look like. So ultimately, you can't keep a secret. Ultimately, you really can't keep a secret, because anybody who has any access to their psychic facilities can look at somebody, and they may not know all the circumstances, but they can see what's going on. They can see what's going on with you, because it's right there. It's plain. It's as plain as the nose on your face, your aura, right? And that's why we always say you don't want to try to keep secrets from God or your higher power. That's when we get into big, big trouble, because this idea that we can keep secrets from our spiritual source, and that's usually a shame-based secret, that's when we get into trouble, because then you're not using secrecy to your advantage. You're actually using secrecy for your own self-destruction. Now, first and foremost, infinite intelligence knows every little detail about you. They knew about your secret before you decided to keep it a secret, okay? So infinite intelligence already knows everything. So there's no way you can keep a secret. But the idea that you would want to keep a secret from infinite intelligence is the problem. And so a lot of times what happens is when people feel so guilty about certain things, they just, in order to appease their guilt, they shove whatever it is way down deep in their consciousness, so that they're not thinking of it anymore, and they're running away from it. They're trying to keep it secret. And that's akin to trying to keep something secret from God. If I don't think of it, it doesn't exist. And then what happens is that secret manifests as all kinds of weird behavior, or sometimes weird circumstances, weird occurrences. So if you've got all kinds of unexpected bad luck, all kinds of weird erratic behavior, and you're like, I don't know where that came from. Why did I say that? Why did I do that? It's time for you to look and ask yourself, what am I trying to keep secret from myself, and what am I trying to keep secret from infinite intelligence? What is it that I'm trying to keep secret that it doesn't serve me? What have I suppressed? And then you can ask for infinite intelligence to help uncover that for you. And you want to uncover those secrets, and you want to deal with those secrets in a very positive way. And like I said, by getting together with somebody that you trust, where you can say, I need to tell you what I'm going through. I need to share this with you. Would you please help me? And sometimes it's best just to pay somebody to do that. So always good to have a pro, so just go find a good therapist, somebody that knows what they're doing, and just start sharing some of these things that you feel so guilty about, some of these things that you feel that are so heinous that nobody should know about them, including yourself, things that you're even trying to hide from your creator. And those shame-based secrets, you're just basically cursing yourself with them. You're keeping secret something which you're giving it power, but you're keeping secret something which shouldn't be kept secret. You're trying to empower something that shouldn't be empowered. And so if there are, like I said, if there are manifestations in your life that are very negative, that you don't understand where they're coming from, it's time to look and see, what are you ashamed of? What are your shame-based secrets that you're harboring? And it's time to let those go. And when you're working on that magic list that we talk about, that's 6 items, 3 things that you're working on bringing into manifestation, and 3 things that you're working on releasing. You can use the power of secrecy in those as well. So the things that you're trying to release, the things that you are trying to eliminate from your life, you might want to ask yourself, what, if anything, am I keeping secret that has something to do with this? Now, oftentimes, like I said, it doesn't seem to have any relationship. So like if you are keeping secret something that, like, maybe somebody raped you and you're feeling ashamed of that and you never told anybody about that. So you are harboring this great resentment and this great fear, and there's all this shame about something that happened to you that wasn't your fault, but you're still ashamed of it. And you don't even realize that it's there anymore because it's been, maybe it's been years and years. And you might not recognize that that's the reason why you're going into credit card debt. That's the reason why you're going into debt, is because you are indebted to this person. You're indebted to this rapist because you're holding on to this resentment. So that's a debt that they owe you and that you're not willing to let go of. And then you're hanging on to a resentment for yourself because you feel ashamed that you felt like it was your fault that you got raped or that you got attacked. So when you're looking at credit card debt, like, I'm in $30,000. Say you were in like $30,000 worth of credit card debt, and you say, okay, how did I get here? You might think in terms of finances, but sometimes it's better to say, I don't know why I'm going into credit card debt. I want to be shown. And you ask infinite intelligence to show you what is the thought form that needs to be released in order for this debt to end. And lo and behold, it's the rape. That's where this is coming from. That's where it's stemming from. And then what do you have to do? You have to find somebody to talk to about it. You have to talk it out. You have to let go of it. Now, if there's absolutely no way that you feel safe talking to somebody about something that you need to let go of, at least write it out and talk to infinite intelligence about it. At the very least, do that. Although I don't think that has as much power as talking to another human being, especially a human being who is either trained or very, very compassionate, so that they can receive the information without necessarily giving you too much advice, and especially advice that's not good advice. So that's the one side of it. So that part of the elimination list is what are the secrets I'm already keeping that are holding these things in place that I'm trying to eliminate? Just asking infinite intelligence to reveal those things to you, and it will come, if anything. And then on the other side, what are these things that I want to manifest, these things that I want to draw onto me? What is a good secret that I can keep now? What's a good way to keep this secret? I'm going to do A, B, C, D, and E, and I'm never going to tell anybody about it. I'm never going to tell anybody what I did, or I'm never going to tell anybody that I have this goal. And see, the thing is when you never tell anybody that you have a goal and then the goal manifests, you don't have to tell anybody you had that goal because it manifested. It's there for everybody to see, right? So on one hand, you can't keep a secret because it's all there in your aura. But if you secrete things in your aura, that aura is magnetic and it will draw unto you the very things that you've secreted in the aura, those things that you're harboring in your aura. So the aura is not only things that you're thinking, but most importantly, things that you're feeling. And a lot of the things that you're feeling, you have, if they're negative, you have most probably suppressed out of your conscious awareness. So you're still feeling them. You just don't recognize that that's what you're feeling, but they're still there in your aura, that you've secreted that in your aura, and it's there attracting things for you on an ongoing basis. And the things that you can secrete in your aura on purpose, that's what we want to get to in magic. You want to put those thought forms in your aura and don't tell anybody about them. You want them there as secrecy so that they start drawing those things unto you. I think that's one of the biggest missing. There's a lot of problems that I personally have with many people who teach the things that they call the law of attraction. But one of the things that I've noticed is sorely missing in the law of attraction is secrecy. Secrecy, that's the ingredient that you don't hear too much about. Everybody's talking about their vision board. Everybody's talking about what they're doing and they're tapping and they're this and they're that, all this stuff that they do. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, I bet you don't really manifest too many things. You're talking about it all the time. Because if you're talking about it all the time, there's no place for it to manifest except for through your mouth, except for through your words. Right? So when we are working on spells, we want to purposefully create secrets. And when we're trying to get rid of negative conditions, we want to purposefully uncover secrets so that we can let go of them. So the power of secrecy works both ways. We want to unload secrets regarding manifestations that we do not want, and we want to create secrets regarding manifestations that we do want. And that is a very, very powerful way of working your magic. And it's probably one of the most powerful ingredients that we have. So when I remember, it wasn't too long ago, I was talking to somebody, and I felt like I really, I needed to tell them about what was going on. They needed some information as far as I was concerned. And luckily, I'm open to listening to my intuition. And I remember very clearly my intuition said, don't say anything. Keep your mouth shut. And so I listened and I kept my mouth shut. And lo and behold, this person really had some issues surrounding what I wanted to talk to them about. And it would have created such a stink in so many people's lives if I had shared that information with them. Right? And so sometimes secrecy is not so much about building thought forms as it is about knowing what is your business and what isn't your business. I think if people spoke about maybe 1/8 of what they really do speak, maybe 1/8 of it, or even less, maybe 1/10 of how much they really speak, the whole world would be better off. The whole world would be better off because we all are involved in everybody's business in ways that are not healthy, And so on one hand, we're keeping these horrible secrets about ourselves that are shame-based, which are constantly creating manifestations. And at the same time, we're blabbing about things which would be good for us, but since we're blabbing so much, we never create the thought form to draw that into existence. And then coupled with the fact that we are having spoken opinions about other people's lives that don't concern us for a good amount of time. And a lot of this happens on social media. A lot of this happens online. So everybody hears it. And then we wonder, why nothing really works for us. Well, it's because we have our secrecy completely out of whack. One thing you can do is just like in that, or I think it was the Earth Body lesson, which is primer, is you can take a week, even a day, and just say, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just not going to say anything unless I absolutely have to. And if somebody says, what's wrong? You can say, oh, nothing's wrong. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm just a little quiet today, But just take a day and just say, I'm not going to use my words today. My words either with my vocal cords or with my keyboard or with my phone. I'm not going to share anything. I'm not going to give my opinion. I'm not going to share a story that I heard. I'm not going to talk about myself. I'm not going to talk about other people. I'm only going to talk if there's something that actually I need to take care of. Somebody asks me an important question, I'll talk to them about it. If I need help with something, or if I need to get business done, I will talk. But other than that, I'm going to keep my mouth shut for the whole day. And see how fun that is. At first, it might be difficult, but what you can do is just dawn a different kind of personality. Don't think of it as this hard, icky exercise. Think of it as, I am one of the ancient magi, and I'm here undercover. This is just what you're telling yourself. This is a game you're playing. I'm here undercover, and my job here is to listen. My job here is to observe and to interact as little as possible with these people so that the most benefit can be had through me. Just tell yourself that. And then if you think of it more like as a sacred mission that I'm going to get through this whole day without talking much, boy, you'll notice some very interesting things start to occur within you. Some of it is, wow, I really like to talk. I'm addicted to giving my opinion about things. I really think that my opinion is going to make a positive difference. And I realize now that my opinion doesn't do anything except for contribute to the noise. But look at how much more powerful I am when I keep my mouth shut. Wow, I can really make a difference when I keep my mouth shut. That's very, very powerful to know. I was talking to somebody the other day, because somebody that knows me, that knows me in my personal life, that also knows me online, which I don't have a lot of that. People that know me from both worlds, they're like, I can't believe how much you talk online and you don't really say that much except for if you're working. You're just so different. I'm like, it's not that I'm different. It's not that I'm different. It's just that people tune into my stuff because they want to hear me talk. That's different. Or if I was a lecturer, if they were paying me, if they were paying to come listen to me talk, I better talk. Right. So that's fine. But outside of that, if you're not asking me, if you're not coming for that specific service, it's really not for me to share my opinion with you. It's who am I? Who am I? I'm just a person. I don't know what's right for you or wrong for you. I don't need to give you advice. I don't need to give you opinions about things. Even if you ask me for advice, I sometimes don't want to give you it because I don't know. I don't know what's right for you. But see, that's the ego. The ego wants to think, no. The universe revolves around me. Everything that and don't you hear that a lot when you go out? When people are talking about things, it's like, oh, I'll tell you about blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's nothing. Listen to my blah, 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 blah. And we really believe that our little story is going to make such a difference in everybody's life. And it never does. It's never that important. It's never even that interesting. It's just that we think that we're more alive when we are talking. And we're not. We're not more alive when we're talking. We're actually dissipating our power when we talk. We are dissipating our powers, our forces when we talk. And that's the one way that we drain ourselves of all of our magical potency is by blabbing. So my recommendation is to give it a shot. Try it for a day or maybe even for a week if you can muster it, where you only speak when absolutely necessary. And again, that's not only with your vocal folds, but that's also online. That's also online. I can count on my one hand how many personal posts I've put on my Facebook page in the last year. Not very many. Not very many. For one thing, nobody really cares. I mean, they think they do, they say they do, but they don't. Nobody cares. And at a party, you know, if I'm at a party or a gathering, well, now that we can have parties again, party or a gathering, I notice that I don't talk that much anymore, because usually what happens is at a gathering, everybody's waiting for a second in the conversation where they can throw in their 2 cents. And then they're mostly thinking about what they're going to say rather than just listening and observing. And I always have to ask myself, is what I'm wanting to say, is it really going to contribute to the conversation? Is it going to make their lives better? Is it going to make things better? Or is it just that I need to talk? And if it's just that I need to talk, then that's my energy drain. That's where I'm wasting my magical potency, is all of that drivel, all of that nonsense, of that constant blather for absolutely no good reason. But if you stop that, and you keep your mouth shut and you only start speaking when it's important for you to speak, you're going to notice that your magical tank starts to get a lot fuller very, very quickly. All right, well, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. It's my great pleasure, as always, to be with you, and I'm looking so forward to the next time we're together. And until then, blessed be.